Hey everybody, here we are again. Cheers. Hope everybody's doing good tonight, or if you're watching this in the future, hope everything is doing well. Everything's good here. A nice cold dark night again, clear. It's always a dark night, I guess. So yeah. I'm just going to get myself all set up here. The usual little routine at the beginning, just to see. I look at the chat with my Linux machine here, and I look at the live stream on my smartphone. So just making sure. OMC XXX in the house. Hey. Let me pull the chat out so I can do that. Little bit of a rush tonight, but no big worries. Hey everybody. Hey. Nice to have everybody here. So this is Astronomy Daily Live, and it happens every single day at 2 hours UTC. We're just doing a casual, open-minded, skeptical discussion, circle of friends, talking about astronomy, and yeah. So whether you're new, or you're an amateur, or you're an advanced amateur, or a pro, you are extremely welcome here. Hope you come in. Hope you're, if you're watching this later, hope you enjoyed watching. It's very, very fun doing all these things. So it happens every day at 2 hours UTC. So I'm located in southeastern Arizona in the United States, and we're always on Mountain Standard Time. And that means that I am 7 hours behind UTC. So it is 2:02 UTC, but if I subtract 7 hours from that, it turns out to be 7:02 p.m. So hope that's a relatively decent time for everybody, to come on live. That can change in the future. Who knows? I think for the moment it's sort of working out. I know anybody in Europe or Africa is going to have a rough time, getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning, or even later than that, to see this live. So maybe the times will change, or maybe I'll add another one, or like an addendum or something like that. But I think this particular time is pretty firm. It's going to stay this way. Probably are going to be occasional times where I'm just not going to be able to make it, but that is hopefully going to be pretty rare, because I purposely have a relatively boring life where don't have much going on outside of home. I've got a lot of things going on here, a lot of work, a lot of homework, a lot of research, whatnot, but nothing really outside. So I am here, and I can be consistently here, so that's fine. And we've got our little friend up here who just jumped onto the lap. And yeah, I'm hoping, with eventually with a newer camera, maybe to have a little slightly wider field of view, so you can actually see these guys on the lap. And but yeah, he is here. Hello. Let me pull up the chat. All right, cool. So, as I said, this is just a very casual conversation. This is, I'd like to be this like a circle of friends, and just sitting around chewing the fat, talking astronomy for an hour or so. Get into some pretty heavy things. Also, keep it light. I I I want this to be different than all the other streams and podcasts that are going on now. And at least all the ones that I've observed are sort of geared towards education and having the scientists sort of being the the high priests with all the answers, and I'm not really about that. So there are things that I can certainly relay to you, but just bear in mind that I keep a very skeptical, hard-nosed line about things, but I'm also very open about it. So yeah, very cool. So yeah, it's hydrogen hydroxide again tonight. Just yeah, it as I explained last night. Hydrogen hydroxide is a little more mellow than dihydrogen oxide. So it's a matter of choice, and but I usually reach for the HOH as opposed to the H2O. So it's just me, just me. So most conversations that I like to have here would like to be sort of directed by the group, right? When you're sitting around in a circle of friends, there usually isn't one person that is talking and everybody else is listening, right? So it's this is more. I'd like this to be more of a conversation directed by all of us here. But I will always have some topics in my pocket to pull out, and yeah, things I think of during the day, or if I see an interesting article or some kind of astronomical event or an interesting meeting, or could be pretty much anything. The science of astronomy is about everything. So that really doesn't put a lot of limits on things. But Q&A is good. You want to talk about observing or gear or telescopes or any kind of instrumentation, CCDs and spectrometers, photometers, polarimeters, all the combinations of therein. You want to talk adaptive optics. There's a lot of instrumentation, and I should actually I should make a note about that I should include some instrumentation stuff in my back pocket. So I'm just gonna write that down. Okay. And yeah, the other hole that I'm trying to fill, the other vacuum that I'm trying to fill, is that there aren't any daily live streams. So there's that, and really, I think one of the ultimate goals that I have, at least, is to be able to do this all the time. This and the research I'm doing, and include you on the journey. Maybe do some collaborations, and I can actually talk about a collaboration that I am setting up with one of the Facebook groups. Actually, a couple of Facebook groups. Maybe that will come up tonight. Who knows? Who knows? So we can talk about instrumentation. I definitely want to get into, what astronomers do. I think there seems to be a lot of mystery about what how astronomers spend their days, and so a lot of that has to do with the analysis of data and writing papers and writing proposals for grants and to do more work. Definitely want to talk about journal, paper articles, that kind of stuff. Definitely get into astro-art. The universe is a beautiful, beautiful place, and to be able to represent that in a neat way, I think is extremely awesome. Extremely awesome. So pretty much anything else that the circle of friends here wants to bring up, we can bring up. Yeah. Whoops. Sorry about that. And if you want to be on the panel at any time, you can just drop me an email, cosmiclettuce@gmail.com. And when the show goes live, I get a little link, and I can email you that link. I just spilled a little bit of water on the kitty, so he's fussing about that a little bit. These guys really don't care if they get wet, but it messes up their fur, and that's very distressing. So so yeah, get away from the TV for a while, get away from the news, and let's put our heads in the sky for a while. It's a nice place. It's a really, really nice place. I've been there my entire life, and I ain't coming down. So I'm already way up there. So make sure to like this video. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already. I think you can get notifications that way. So when I start a live thing, some kind of notification goes off on your end, and you'll know that it's live. And definitely make sure to share this as well. I'm trying to spread the word on this, and I'm getting views, which is good. I mean, I've only been doing this a little over a week or so, so I'm pretty patient, and I am trying to get exposure anywhere I can. Communication these days is so much easier than it was 10 years ago even. That if I want to drop somebody a line, I tweet them, and they get the instant thing, and they'll get an instant answer back, and that just blows my mind. It's awesome, absolutely fantastic. All right, well, cool. Let's Warnock 69 XXX in the house. Hey, how's everything going? How's everything going? Thanks for hitting the thumbs up. Yeah, cool. What does that mean that you've got me on Gmail? You've got to, you young kids, you've got to sort of educate the old folks here. I'm actually probably a lot older than what you think. So I've always been told that I look pretty young, and yeah, I suppose I do. But Yeah, so let me know what that means, that you've got me on Gmail. Does that mean you want to come in on the panel? Or does that mean that, yeah, I don't know what that means. But cheers anyway. Cheers, cheers. Cool, cool. Well, I've got an interesting project that I am lining up, um, trying to get some participants in this, and I posted a couple of things over on the smartphone YouTube group. No, not the YouTube group. The smartphone Facebook group, and a couple other astronomy groups on um, Facebook. What I want to do is I want us to measure the distance to the moon, and I want us to do it multiple times. And that that may sound like a difficult thing to do, but it's actually really easy. Um, it it requires a little bit of mathematics, a little bit, but I'll take care of that. So what I'm doing at the moment is just I am writing this all up. I want to explain uh, what we're going to do, and uh, explain how and why, and also procedures, because it's going to take a little bit of coordination in order to pull it off. So basic idea is that you can take your either your digital camera or your smartphone, uh, and at a predetermined time, you're going to take a picture of the moon when it's near a bright star, a known bright star. Everybody that can see the moon at that time. So this will be done at plus or minus. Hello, Elite Nugs. How's everything? Everything's good here. Just getting into explaining a collaborative project that you may be interested in. People in this circle might be interested in. Contacted a few folks on Facebook already. Want to measure the distance to the moon. It's actually a lot easier than what you might think. So that at the appointed time, everybody who is participating in this will digital camera or their phone or whatever. It does have to be like a digital image, because you're going to have to email it to me. But at a specific time, which of course I'll let you know, a picture of the moon, and the moon is going to be near a bright star, and so in the picture itself, that bright star. And just with that basic information and having people spread out all over the place, we'll be able to measure the distance to the moon several times. I want to do this over the course of maybe a month or two or something like that. So yeah, I like the moon too. I'm primarily grateful that it's there. Yeah, it puts on a good show too. Mrs. Leet Nugs, have you ever seen the moon through like a telescope? Haven't. You are definitely missing out. It's fabulous, right? It's absolutely fabulous. So yeah, we're going to try. We're not going to try. We are going to measure to the moon, and of course, if we take multiple measurements to see that the distance changes, because the moon doesn't go around us in a perfect circle, right? It doesn't keep the same distance. It orbits the Earth in an ellipse. So sometimes it's closer. I'm gonna have to get a drawing board or something. Sometimes it's closer and sometimes it's further away, and that's what actually causes the cycles of the tides. So you have a daily tide, but then once a lunar cycle, you'll have a higher tide than normal or a lower tide than normal, depending on depending on how far the moon is from the Earth. But what I'll do is I will compare the data that we collect to sort of calculated distance is, and so we'll be able to measure how accurate numbers, and with multiple, we'll also be able to see how precise we are in terms of hitting the right. It's going to be a really, really cool project. If you're interested in doing this on the planet, right, the only requirement, and it may be at a maybe a inconvenient or strange time for you, but yeah, I think it'll be really, really interesting, and it's in one aspect of the science, and these results I am definitely going to publish. So anybody who is participating will be a co-author on this. Want to encourage to be involved in the analysis of the data and all of that. So it's going to be really, really, really cool. It's going to be really fun. So if you're interested, just drop me an email at gmail.com. And for now, it's all I need to know is like either the city or the state. It's just some general idea about where you are, because I have to coordinate all of you guys, because of course, if we can see the moon here on this side of the planet, on the other side of the planet they can't see it. So they're not going to be able to make that particular observation, right? It's cosmiclettuce@gmail.com. I'll type it in the I'll type it in the chat here. @gmail.com. Just like that. Cool. You're in Kentucky. All right. Yeah. It doesn't. That's kind of the cool thing about this. It doesn't matter where you are, as long as you can see the moon and be able to photograph it. That's all that is required. You're going to have to check the picture to make sure that you can see that star in there too. It's going to be a bright star or a bright planet. One or the other. There's one coming up on February 1st that I'm going to try only, what, a week or so away, so that may not happen. But, you know, it's sort of like this show, right? There's no rush. There's no rush. So, but yeah, I mean, over the course of a couple months, we're going to try to make a few measurements and see what we get. And so that would be very, very cool. Yeah, you know, it doesn't really even have to be all that good. That's part of the process of collecting data. Is that you work with the instrumentation that you have. If you can get something better, cool. If you can't, then you work with what you have. And if it turns out to be not all that great, that will show up in the results as what's called an error bar. So you know, we're going to have a measurement, and then we also measure how certain we are about that, and that's our error. So if I get, you know, some bad data, no worries. It's all part of the process, and we'll see where we are about that. You know, I am not on Instagram. I have a smartphone, but I don't have a phone plan, and I don't have any plans to do that at all. If the need arises, I'll look into that. But at the moment, I have no need for phone service, cell phone service. So that, and it looks like the only way that I can get onto IG is if I have a phone that has a service. And so yeah, I'm gonna sort of be left out. Now, Mrs. Elite Nugs, if there is a way to get onto IG without having to provide a phone number to IG, that is sort of my obstacle. Is that the couple of times that I've tried, you know, to sign up with IG, it's asked for a phone number of the cell phone. I don't have one. So maybe you can illuminate to me. If that's a possibility, then I definitely want to jump on to IG, because that's a train that is zooming. Right? I'd love to get on that. So if you or anybody else in the circle here have a way of doing that without having to have a phone number, yeah, okay. Friends are hard to come by. I appreciate that. Yeah, check into it. Get back to me. But as far as I know, there isn't a way. And I think that's sort of the whole point to IG, is that you know, you're at least the concept is that, you know, you're walking around with your phone anyway, and you want to make some kind of communication instantly, and so you send an Instagram, right? And so yeah, you need a phone. You need a phone number on that. But yeah, I think that's going to be a cool project. And yeah, I've actually wanted to do this for a long time, and I forget stuff. I you know, come up with ideas on things, and I mess around with them for a little while, and then either get bored with it or you're distracted, and it's like, oh well. But yeah, this one I'm definitely going to do. There's about half a dozen folks who have already responded. So yeah, it's I think it's going to be very, very cool. And yeah, the more measurements we can make, the better the results are going to be. The more accurate and the more precise are going to be. Thanks for coming in, Mrs. Elite Nugs. Anytime you are welcome into the circle. Make sure to share. Make sure to share. I really want to spread the word about this. I think I've got something good going on here, and I want the word to spread. So thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Oh, some other stuff going on. Today was sort of a busy day, so as much of a chance to think about astro as much as I want to, at least. Let me go back over here. Let's I can talk about some astro-art again. One of the probably one of the neatest things that I discovered really, really early on in life is this space music show called Music from the Hearts of Space. And it is exactly that. It's an hour of more or less space music. They get into ethnic music. Is that what that's called? Different regions of the planet have different sounds, and most of it is extremely cool stuff. And so Music from the Hearts of Space also includes that kind of stuff too. So let me share my screen. Let me get Music from the Hearts of Space up here. I've got a kitty on the lap again. And now I will hit the screen share, not the stop broadcast, but the share. I'm going to go to infinity. And then we'll go over here. So this is the Hearts of Space website. So I'll hide that. I'm going to get it back. And for a subscription, you can listen to every single episode that they have ever done. But on Sundays, their weekly show is done live. Well, not live, but it's done free. So on Sundays, you can tune in and play that week's show for free. And what I do is exactly what I did as a kid, and that is when there was something on the radio that I wanted to keep, I would grab my my little microphone and tape recorder and record it off the radio. Well, it's exactly the same thing that I'm doing now. It's just a digital one, and I just use I'm using Audacity to record the show, and then I can listen to it later, and I can save it, and this is an extremely awesome site. And if you're into really any kind of ambient melodic spacey kinds of sounds, this is the place to be. This is definitely the place to be. So yeah, definitely check that out. So that's HOS.com. HOS.com. And yeah, you know, tune in Sundays and give it a listen. I think this past week, what was the show? So you can go to this week, like that, and this week's show, it's program 1169, and they've done a lot of repeats. So, but these are, you know, unique shows. So program 1169 is called Nordic Winter Songs, and I don't think I've listened to this yet. I don't think I've listened to this quite yet, but they're really, really cool about, you know, providing a lot of info about, you know, the composers and the albums and how long it lasts and all of that. Right? Really, really cool stuff. I think you can click on any of these albums, and it goes to. It looks like it goes to like the Amazon or the Hearts of Space Amazon page, and then from there, you know, if you want to purchase an album, I think a lot of these artists have their stuff up on Bandcamp, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Anyway, there's at least to me, there's almost nothing better than sitting out in like a reclining lawn chair, right? Sit out under the dark sky, watching a meteor shower, and having music from the Hearts of Space playing in, you know, the background. That's about as close to heaven as I can get. Yep. And put my big ugly head back on here. Boom. Yeah. So last night we were talking about satellites and observing those with Heavens Above. I've got, see, and this is something that I'm still not quite following in terms of these Hangouts. It says that I've got two viewers plus me. Okay, I'm over here. I'm looking at it on my phone, but I don't see anybody in chat. So that is, you're more than welcome, you know, just to hang out and listen to me blab. But hey, I am not any kind of authority. I don't necessarily have the megaphone. I just make the circle, and you all just come on in. So, but if you want to stand on the edge of the circle and listen in, that's extremely cool too. So yeah, last night I was talking about the heavensabove.com website that allows you to know when satellites, you know, that are orbiting the Earth are going to be visible from your location. So thinking about that a little bit, let me look at my list of stuff. Hey, you know what we should do? What we should do is do a little bit more what I call Mars porn. So there's a really, really great site. So I'll share the screen again here. There's a spacecraft orbiting Mars right now called MRO, and that stands for the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. And it has a camera on board that is absolutely mind-blowingly awesome. It's called HiRise. So I'm going to go to the HiRise site, which is uahirise.org. And I'll just sort of walk you through these, and we'll spend the next little bit just looking at some images of the surface of Mars taken from orbit. So what I do is I go to catalog, and these are updated pretty regularly, as you can see. Okay, 22nd of January, that was just yesterday. So these are updated. Not exactly sure. Well, yeah, we can sort of get an idea here, right? The last ones were the 10th of January and the 22nd. So yeah, you know, once every week or two, something like that, they'll put up some new images. And so this is a spacecraft that has a camera on it that is looking down onto Mars as it orbits Mars. And so what it actually collects are these big long strips. So you know, the spacecraft is moving and it's looking down, and the camera itself doesn't move, but of course the spacecraft is. So you get these big long strips, have a certain width and a certain length, and depending on what they are looking at, what you know, they programmed the thing to do. And I immediately these little thumbnails sort of are you know, the enticement to click on them. Is that called clickbait? Is that what that is? And then I think one of the coolest jobs in the world, and I would love to talk to the person who writes these little descriptions, because they have to be you know, as accurate as they possibly can, and it has to tell you something. So we're going to go to this one because this thumbnail looks kind of interesting, but I don't look at the thumbnails. You know, these are pretty, but what I like to do is I like to go down here. See, and all of them have a description. So what an awesome job, right? To be able to, you know, write these really short titles and then a description. Now, hold on one sec. One of the kitties wants out, and he's going to rip a hole through my door if he doesn't get out. So hold on just a couple seconds. Here, there you go. You want in? All right. All right, so what I like to do is I like to come down here to these non-map black and white JPEGs. Now, most people, I guess most non-scientists like to look at the color pictures and you know, really big and exciting and everything else, and those are pretty. Those are pretty, but there's not a lot of information in this. And this is just a thumbnail. If you want to see the whole thing, you come down here and you can go to the non-map black and white JPEGs, and you click on that, and it's going to load this strip. And of course, you can watch it load. Once it's loaded, this is a huge image. All these are really big, like that. Look at this. And then what I do is I just sort of start on the upper left corner. So over here would be, you know, the upper left. That's over here, right? So click on that, you get that. And look at that. It's just, this is the surface of Mars. And really, really quick, because they tell you the 1 pixel on this image is 28.3 centimeters. Okay, 28.3 centimeters is about a foot or so. So we're seeing things, structures here that are on the human scale, right? This is, maybe 20 feet across, this little thing. So, you can actually, at least I can imagine, walking along this, right? And looking up to my right and seeing this little butte there. And look at these dunes. You look at the sand dunes and stuff. This is very, very cool. I mean, I would, honestly, I guess I don't really want to walk on that because I don't want to ruin it in any way. Anyway, I start at the upper left, and then I just scan down, and you can see the shadows that are being cast here. So you can sort of tell where the sun is, the angle of the sun, how high the sun is up in the sky. And with the shadows, you get a really good idea of sort of the shape of these peaks. See, I mean, at first glance, you look at this one here, it sort of looks flat. But if you look at the shadow, it's got a peak. It's got a really, really sharp little peak there. Anyway, so I'm just going to scan down here and see what we got. I mean, this is literally, right, an alien landscape. Look at this crescent here. And so, this is a geologist heaven on earth, and heaven on Mars. And it's kind of interesting, right? You see this pattern, this crescent pattern over and over again, all over the place. You see it over here. You're seeing it down here. So something interesting is going on. Don't know what. Look at that. Wow. That's just absolutely amazing. So that's why I call this Mars porn, because it's just yeah, it's that exciting. I go all the way down. See, these images are absolutely huge. I go all the way down, and then I go to the right, and then I go back up. And wow, look at that. Is that cool or what? I mean, this is Mars. This is literally, really, really, really Mars. And these little bumps here are 10 or 20 feet across. So this is the size of a house. So it's a human scale. So very, very cool. There's all these little weird things here. Wow, look at that. Jeez, what is going on there? I don't know. I'm sure glad that we have a spacecraft there. I have to take all these just absolutely amazing pictures. Just incredible. All right, let's go back and we can look at a few more of these. This is one of the really, really great things that I like about this, just having a daily thing, right? Is that there's no rush. Like, I can spend a lot of time just sort of around things, different topics, whatnot, because there's always going to be tomorrow. It's fractured ground in, I guess that's pronounced Ioni chaos. Fractured ground in Ioni chaos. I'm going to do the same thing here. Load that up. take a look. Hope everybody's sort of enjoying this. I certainly am. Look at these dunes here. Supposedly caused by wind, right? That's sort of the idea. That seems to be what it indicates. Don't know for sure. Don't know for absolute sure. There's, you know, we interpret things based on we already know. So if there's something that we don't know, and we don't know that we don't know it, then we're not going to be able to interpret this in any other way. But maybe there are other ways to make dunes that doesn't necessarily require wind. Maybe there are ways to show signs of erosion that doesn't necessarily require things like water. Don't know. Don't know. In the background, for everybody's enjoyment. Find another interesting one here. Looking at these the other night, as you can see, there are currently 51,283 images. So you know, you can spend a substantial amount of time here getting lost on Mars. They monitor new impacts. Are supposedly these are meteorites that are coming in and impacting the surface and going, you know, spewing everything out. And they watch for these. They watch for new ones. They've actually seen, you know, some new ones pop up. I like to look at the raw data. I don't necessarily want to see any of the pretty colors or pretty pictures. There's a lot of useful information in the colors, but just to look around, I like doing it like this. So there's that impact right there, and you can see, whoop, you can see that that sort of looks like the crater that was made, and then this is all the stuff that blew out as a result. If this was an impact, nobody's actually, I don't think that anybody's actually witnessed an impact on Mars yet. Impact events have been observed on the moon, but even then, it's hard to tell if it's an impact or if it's something else. You know, something is going on. There's a flash, but you can see that this isn't symmetrical, right? It's not as if it hit here and everything just sort of spewed out symmetrically, sort of offset a little bit. So who knows what's going on there? Look at these streaks. Look at these streaks coming off of these craters. Now, is that streaks coming off these craters, or is it material blowing from right to left, and the craters are sort of leaving little shadows behind, bright shadows behind? Don't know. Don't know. And does this change over time? They're keeping an eye on all that. Yeah, I just like scanning around on these. That's the fun part. This kind of stuff. Wake up in the middle of the night, you can't sleep. Want to get your mind off of things? Get your ass to Mars. It's right there. And there are other sites that actually have pictures from the ground. There are currently 2 operating rovers on Mars, and yeah, they upload their images too. So you can see they have a microscope on one of them. So you can actually see tiny, tiny, tiny little grains of dust if you want to. Let's see, this is, okay, so this is another impact site. That's at least in this color image, it looks like a bright region, but let's look at the real data, the actual data. Oh wow, it is bright. So what is going on there, right? You've got this dark material, right, everywhere here. Whoop. And then you have an impact event, and all the stuff that is blown up as a result of that is this really, really, really bright stuff. And there's a little bright splotch over there too. It's just all mysterious. It could be ice, could be just, you know, the color of the dirt. Look at that. Isn't that great? Multiple impacts, maybe at the same time. Maybe they aren't even impacts. Maybe there's something else. Don't know. Look at these amazing looking dunes. If that's what they are. If this is caused by wind, it's like, what is going on? Smoke box in the house. Hey, hey, hey. I can see you too. We're looking at Mars. We're looking at the surface of Mars here from a satellite called MRO, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, and it has a camera on board, a really powerful camera on board that is looking down onto the surface of Mars. And so as the spacecraft moves over Mars, they get these strips like that. And this is supposedly an impact site. So, you know, a meteor in space has smashed into Mars, at least that's the story, and has brought up this really, really bright material. So what is going on there? I don't know. But anyway, these dunes, I'm just saying that if these dunes are caused by wind, I don't know. That seems really complicated for wind to be able to do that. So yeah, you know, Smokebox, maybe it's the guys there, you know, the Martians. Maybe the Martians are you know, doing some kind of artistic rendering, and we're just too ignorant or stupid to realize it. Yeah. One more. Oh yeah, no. Smokebox, I was saying just before maybe you got on, it's like, you know, this is like Mars porn, right? This is just awesome, and you can spend days looking at all these. There are currently 51,283 images, and they're updated pretty regularly. Maybe, you know, once a week, once every couple of weeks. So really up to date, and I need some more of this. And yeah, beautiful stuff. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So I just sort of, you know, go through the thumbnails here, see if there's anything that I either with, you know, the thumbnail itself or the description. Definitely would like that job to describe these things. So dunes dubbed Laguna. Let's look at the Laguna Dunes. The Laguna Dunes. So that's just a little thumbnail, but what I like to do is I like to come down here and get the raw data. So these are the Laguna Dunes. Check it out. Not incredibly interesting. Pretty regular pattern, but really squiggly. Really squiggly. Kind of bizarre. You know, I mean, this is literally an alien landscape, right? This is like probably like nothing that you've ever seen before, and it certainly isn't anything like I've seen before. Blowing, absolutely mind blowing. Dunes dubbed Huntington. Let's get out of the dunes. Let's see if there's any other lava coated crater lava coated craters. Let's see that. We'll do this, and then I think I'm gonna call it a good evening. Unless you've got some box. Anybody else? Any questions or comments or suggestions, etc., etc.? Wow, look how complicated that is. It's I've very oftentimes saved these things as a background for the computer, because I mean, look at that. It's just it's mind blowing. It's absolutely mind blowing. Look at that. It's like I mean, an old crater or something. I don't even know. I mean, how do you how do you even start trying to figure out what's going on with that? It's just I don't know. It's an impossible task. That's why I'm trying to fill this niche, where, you know, I'm not trying to be the wise scientist that has an explanation for everything. I'm in absolute awe. I mean, my jaw is on the ground, because it's just it's absolutely amazing, and it's gorgeous. Got howling kitties in the background. Howling kitties. Look at that. Now, is that, you know, this shadowing thing can oftentimes be an optical illusion. Okay, is that a bump? So is this sort of popping up out of the ground, or is it like a hole and it's going down into the ground? And some people, you know, will see it pop, and some people will see a hole. I usually see it pop. So it looks to me like it's coming up out of the ground. But I can look around here and look at the shadowing on everything, and all the shadows are sort of on the right-hand side. Well, this shadow's on the right-hand side too. So my guess is that this actually is popping up out of the ground. This is a little darker over here. But look how complicated that is. I mean, fabulous. Just absolutely fabulous. All right, we'll definitely take a look at this site, and I'm going to pop back on so you can see my ugly mud one more time. Boom. And it's 3:03 UTC. We've had a good hour here. Any more questions, comments, anything you'd like to talk about? This is the place to talk astronomy for sure. Astronomy Daily Live, though, so no sweat. Maybe miss today, and we will pick up tomorrow. I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go get some grub, finish off this beaker of hydrogen hydroxide here, and I'm going to call it a night. Thanks for coming in, and I will see you in 23 hours. 23 hours. Okay, take care.